Members of the Assembly. The state has a long-standing policy of not supporting abortion in any way, and these amendments simply mean to strengthen and clarify existing legislation that is in place. State agencies under this amendment would not be able to contract with or provide support to organizations that perform, induce, or refer for or counsel in favor of abortions. This is simply legislation that would put into law what the legislature thought was law in the past. Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Representative Boucher.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the Assembly. I stand to ask for you to reject the amendments of Section 4 and 5 of Senate Bill 2368. These amendments are a threat to the academic freedom that is inherent to the role of education, critical inquiry, and research to develop solutions for our society. It is important for us as policymakers to not interject ourselves that limits the curriculum or restrict institutional research agendas. By doing so, we find ourselves in the position of micromanaging academic affairs on individual campuses. Our faculty and researchers are hired to educate students and find answers to the economic, environmental, medical, and societal problems we have faced in our past, currently experience, and are expected to face in the future. It is the innovative and creative aspect of critical inquiry that these faculty and researchers are trained in that questions are asked, research is conducted, and answers are found through failure and success. If we do not ask the questions, we will not find the solutions. The research that this amendment is directed at is the work of one of my constituents and her colleague at NDSU. One is a faculty researcher on human development, and the other is a faculty researcher in nursing and public health. They are attempting to find a solution on how to effectively and accurately educate teenagers who are at higher risk of contracting sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancies. While the national average teen pregnancy rate between 2000 and 2005 decreased, North Dakota was the only state to see an increase in teen pregnancy. In 2008 alone, teen childbearing costs to the state of North Dakota cost approximately $16 million. Between 1991 and 2008, taxpayers paid over $300 million to cover the cost of teen childbearing. The research these two faculty are conducting is to find a solution to this problem within our state. By limiting the research opportunities of these faculty, by restricting who they can partner with, we risk increasing the costs of taxpayers related to teen pregnancies and childbirth. Many of you know that I work on a college campus. Every day I work with student organizations and students who both agree with me and those that disagree with my personal opinion on a variety of issues. My job as a higher education professional isn't to persuade them one way or the other, but to help them find answers to the questions they have as individuals and to meet the mission of their respective organizations. There is research conducted and perspectives shared on each campus that I don't agree with, but the fact that these questions can be asked and perspectives shared in an educational setting is the beauty of academic freedom. My question to you all is this: what would the conversation have looked like if we were limiting who our colleges and universities could and could not partner with to study genetically modified organisms? Would our state be experiencing the success of our #1 industry in the state if decades ago our predecessors passed a policy that stated, except as required by federal law, no funds of this state or any agency, county, municipality, school district, or any other subdivision thereof, or institution under the control of the State Board of Higher Education, and no federal funds passing through the state treasury or state agency may be used to contract with or provide financial or other support to individuals, organizations, or entities that perform research, facilitate inquiry, refer to, or support the favorability of genetically modified organisms. We must allow academic freedom to occur on our college and university campuses without interference from us. With these amendments, NDSU and the youth of North Dakota are being used as political footballs for a specific viewpoint. I ask for you to reject these amendments and allow our faculty and researchers to continue identifying solutions to the economic, environmental, medical, and societal problems our state faces. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Silbernagel.
Mr. Speaker, as indicated earlier, this amendment just simply clarifies what is a longstanding tradition in our state, and it does not prohibit funds to be spent in sex education and family planning. It only restricts with whom the state can partner and with in the furtherance of those programs and implementing policies that are in our century code. So again, would ask that you consider a positive move on these amendments.
Is there further discussion? Representative Becker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the bill carrier yield to a question?
Representative Silbernagel, will you yield to a question?
Yes, I would.
Representative Becker.
Very simply, I'm curious with where it says contract with, provide financial or other support to individuals. So does individuals in this context refer to LLCs, corporations, and so forth, or does it refer to individual persons? So to get to the question, or to support the underlying reason for my question, if an individual wanted to work for a public institution but also held some other job where they did counseling, would they then be prohibited from being hired?
Mr. Speaker, I would defer that question to others that might be a little bit more up to speed as to the details and the intent of that language.
Representative Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I guess Representative Becker, individual does refer to an individual. Corporations would be referred to as a person. So in this case, it would apply that any individual singly could not use those funds from any entity that provides those types of services.
Mr. Speaker?
You may continue.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, then the follow-up to that question is, so a contract would also include a contract of employment, correct?
Representative Weiss.
Well, Mr. Speaker and Representative Becker, I'm not sure I follow. A contract for employment really wouldn't be addressed in this amendment.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Mock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just request a recorded roll call vote on the amendments to Senate Bill 2368.
Needs 1/6 of the members to stand. 1/6 of the members stand for recorded roll call vote. Recorded roll call vote is granted. Is there any further discussion? The House has before it the amendments for Senate Bill 2368. The clerk will open the key for recorded roll call vote. You agree, you approve the amendments, you vote red, you reject the amendments. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Key will be closed and the clerk will take the record. My vote is 57 yea, 35 nay, 2 absent, not voting. The amendments to Senate Bill 2368 have been approved, and House Bill